How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah. How was the yoga?
Relaxing.
Yes.
It's good to stretch the legs in between.
Yeah, it helps. It also helps, just to relieve some of the tension from already having been working on the sitting. So that's good. So, anybody have any questions they'd like to bring up or ask about before we kind of?
And then also I started the retreat with reciting just Amitofo, 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 and somehow it went to Namo Amitofo, Namo Amitofo. Is there a difference if you use Namo or not?
Yeah, it's kind of just. I mean, it's not a big difference, but typically in the meditation, master recommends just to do the Amitofo because it's a little simpler. It's just those 4 characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the sort of standard way that we do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some people have reported, like Venerable XianJie, the old abbot. If you watch any of Master's lectures, he reports he had some experience where in that, at least that particular situation, he was dealing with. I think the story was like he was at somebody's funeral, or it was a hospital, or somebody had just died, and they went to recite, and were getting obstructed. Like during the recitations, he and other people could no longer hear. Like Amitofo the name was getting all messed up. They started reciting something else. They couldn't keep the recitation together. And he tried different mantras to try to overcome that effect, and then he couldn't get anything to work until he just switched and said Namo Amitofo, and just by making that switch, somehow it broke that attack or that spell or whatever, and they were able to resume reciting. So he likes to tell that story that for him, in at least that situation, he found it just was more powerful to say the full phrase Namo Amitofo.
Mm-hmm.
Namo, it just means like I pay respect, paying homage to Amitofo. but usually the way Master suggests when we do the recitation method, we keep it simple. It's just those 4 characters, Amitofo. Or like I mentioned, Medicine Master Buddha is Yao Shi Ru Lai. Just those, similar, those 4 characters. Again, this is like the recitation style. When you in your meditation, you just keep reciting this name, whether it's Amitofo or Medicine Master Buddha, Yao Shi Ru Lai. So it's very, very good practice that we recommend. Just doing that. I'm not sure some people are new, right? This is your first day,
Yes.
I think, right? What is your name again?
Andrea.
What is it?
Andrea.
And Andrea.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So we'll make sure to do some of the very, very basics, and then you feel free to ask questions at any point too. But so I think you got a little introduction to the posture. How was the sitting for you this morning?
Yes, it's difficult, it's hard, but I promise I will do it one day. Not today for sure, but one day I can do it.
Yeah, the full lotus, you just, anybody can really learn. Just keep working at it. And the more you sit, you naturally get better. And doing the yoga and stretches also can help you get there faster. Hello, welcome.
Yoga helps a lot.
Yeah. So before, like when you start work on that half lotus, just practice bringing that foot up as high as you can. I mean, the more, it's up to you how intense you want to do it, but if you want to get to the full lotus faster, you're like we did before, you can cross this foot over initially, and then from there bring the foot so it's up high, and then if your knee is in the air, that's okay.
Okay.
That is how your hip is going to open quicker. If you're willing to sit like that, you just keep this foot up there high.
Okay.
And so now the weight of your knee is going to start to open your hip.
Okay.
So that's like a little more intensive way to do the half lotus and get quicker into the full lotus.
Okay.
because as you sit like that, I mean, it's going to be painful on the hip, but that's the stretching action as well, that as it starts to come down, then it becomes easier to bring the other one on top.
Okay. I cannot do it right now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so just start with the half lotus.
Okay.
Just do that. Yeah, and see how it goes. Yeah, same for, I guess the two of you also haven't had too much instruction.
Trying.
Yeah, oh, you're also new. Do you? Oh yeah, is this your first day?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can try this. This is a half lotus.
When I try with the pill, yeah.
It's actually best not to use any kind of pillow. So
With the
if you
Without the pillow.
if you can pick your foot up and bring it up higher onto your thigh.
Not too much time, but I can try it.
Yeah, just you can try it for a little bit, however you're able to. But if your knee is in the air like that, that will make it more intensive. But it will help you that eventually, once that knee starts to come down, then you go to the full lotus where you have the right goes on top of the left. But so initially you can bring the left one as high as you're able onto your thigh, and you can even sometimes use, if you need to, help hold your foot up there so it doesn't slide down. But that's a sort of more rigorous way to work on the half lotus and will get you closer to the full lotus. So the full lotus is it's the ideal position to meditate, and you can go a little faster. It's like the fast track. It's not necessary, like we talked about, not the only way to meditate, but we try to make it available and teach people about this methodology. And for those of you who are new, it is normal that it's painful, it's difficult, physically demanding, and that is actually part of the method. It's a good thing. The way we teach is just incrementally. We train ourselves to do more every time, a little bit more than we could do before. So however long you can keep yourself in this position where your knee's up there, it might be difficult. So just keep track of how long you can do it. And then when it's too much for you, you can stretch your legs out and go back again. But use a timer so that the next time you set your timer and always set the timer a little bit longer, so you do a little bit more than you could before. And that way, if you just keep practicing like that every day, you do even 30 seconds more, a minute more than the day before. You keep building it up. Yeah, do you need any translation? Or you understand the English is okay?
And for the half lotus, do you use the right or left leg on top?
We do the start. So always left leg first. So in the half lotus, it's just the left leg on top, and then the full lotus, the right one goes on top of that. Pretty much maintain that order. Even the half lotus, just do that left leg only. If there's say an injury that you can't do the one leg, sometimes you might do the other leg. Or if your hips are really stiff, and so you need to open the right hip, then maybe before you're able to get to the full lotus, you can do the reverse half lotus to help you open the right hip, depending on but in most cases, if it's not really, there's no particular reason that you need to change the order. We just stick to the normal order, left leg first, and then the right on top of that. So the other thing would be nice to do is go around, or just give, I guess, anybody that would like to, people who have been coming here, who've been coming to previous retreats or to the other online classes, those who have some experience with this group, to share a little bit about what they have been getting out of it, and that's nice for the new people to hear about your experiences. And then also for new people, you can let us know what brings you here, why you're interested in meditation, if you have any other practice meditation before.
I tried to meditate before. I used to meditate every day a little in a dynamic way when I'm going work and walking around. I'm trying always to keep in connection as much as I can, and I'm happy to be here because I have a friend that gave me that information, and that's my first step.
Good. Did you have? Did you study meditation from any particular teacher or?
Not at the moment.
Or from? How did you learn the things you were doing from YouTube?
I used to read.
Reading books.
Read books, yeah. And speak with friends.
Yeah, good. And for how long have you been doing that as part of your life?
Since my more than 10 years.
Oh, so yeah, good.
I have interest in these kind of areas to keep the balance every day at work and in connection with people nowadays. With all these kind of challenges we're living, it's important to keep this emotional balance.
Yeah, certainly. What do you do? What kind of work do you do?
I'm working in communication for the government. Requires a lot of to use my eyes and always thinking, doing reports. It's important sometimes to do a break and to breathe and to keep connection again.
Yeah, so that's certainly one of the real benefits of meditation. Will not only help us work more effectively, more productively. Basically, we become more concentrated, so the mind can focus better at whatever we're doing. And the other side of that is that we can recover better, so we can recharge ourselves, and because we're going to get drained, we're going to get worn out, and so meditation is that tool what we can go back to and use it to recover. And part of that, the real core of the meditation, we're trying to reduce all the thought processes. So like the mind is constantly going. We're wasting a lot of energy all the time just thinking, nonstop. So we need to learn to take those times to cool off, to let the engine just take a break and recharge. So that's what the meditation is for. We're training ourselves to just slow down the thinking processes. And so the way we teach about this posture, eventually aiming toward the full lotus, it's a trick, but it actually really helps in this whole this process of reducing our thinking, and gives us the ability to recharge faster. Just part of it is actually just sort of physical from that particular posture, and from the challenge of training ourselves to sit longer. Physically, things are going on in our body, the body's, the energy, the qi energy, we talk about in the Chinese medicine, qi is your life force. So your qi will become stronger through the process of sitting and enduring a little bit more, sitting longer. The pains in your leg actually it's forcing your body, tricking your body to naturally ramp up and increase the qi energy. Your natural life force will just improve through that process. So, but it's very challenging to sit this way, and so that's why it's also nice to have anybody that like to share their experiences, the people who have been coming and practicing this for a while. If you wanna share anything about what you've got about it or why you keep coming back, that's nice for the new people to hear as well.
Portuguese are very shy, venerable. Well, I can go first. Obviously, nobody wants to. But long story short, so basically I've been doing this for 7 or maybe more maybe 8 years, and yeah, just I experimented with different practices, but this one was one that I found. So a couple of things. One is I figure out the more I put into it, the more I take. So that doesn't necessarily happen with the other stuff I do. So you can be very dedicated Kung Fu or yoga or whatever, but it doesn't mean that you keep getting more and more and more. And with this practice, I feel that I put my own limitations. So if I don't make progress, it's not because I don't have the tools, because they were given to me. It's because it just takes time, and I need to do the proper effort, essentially. So I know if I put the effort and practice like in the correct way, either little, very little, or a lot of time, doesn't really matter. I know I will get it back, and for me that's very important, because I don't want to waste time doing something that is not as good. Everybody's busy these days. And the other thing is, I was since day one when I went to California to do meditation retreat, and I met Master YongHua, Venerável XianJie, and everybody that was there practicing. I just felt they had something, some qualities that I also wanted to have. So, and I keep coming back, and because obviously we cannot go there every day, right? You have to plan a trip and make some effort and whatever, but because I don't see them every day, for me it's amazing how much they can evolve. And I mean evolve not just like in the meditation, like a human being, like with the good qualities that I guess everybody here kind of wishes, in so short amount of time. So I come back 1 year, and then the next year I see some people again, and it's I get jealous. To be honest, I get to be a little bit jealous, because this practice has a huge impact on if you were willing to keep it up, it has a huge impact on personal life, basically. So that's my experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I mean, yeah, that's true. The best way to take advantage of this practice, the people who can come to the temple regularly get a lot more support. But that again, as much as you can do, the more you can get involved. There's a lot you can get out of it. And it's really, it's wonderful. Miguel and Bruno are setting up this and hosting regular different classes on Zoom and in person here. So these are still our ways to get connected and to get support and work as a group. So all of that, those opportunities are really beneficial and help. So it's great that you've been maintaining that for all these years and bringing us back.
Yeah, and some people stick. They didn't go away.
Yeah. But so this is a good opportunity to ask questions. Feel free anytime you have a question, anything you'd like to ask about.
What are the main requests to take part of the group? For example, we need to be vegetarian, and I don't know about more requests, more points.
You mean requisites? Yeah, or what are the requisites? She's asking what are the requisites to take part of the group.
Yeah, there's not really no strict requirements. Like say being vegetarian we recommend is a good practice, but it's no requirement that people have to do that. But I mean, for our temple and our locations in California and temples, anybody can come and learn to meditate. We'll teach, same idea here with your classes, and they're open to anybody. Don't have to be Buddhist to meditate. So we're just teaching you these skills of meditation. Obviously, we're coming from Buddhist background. I'm a Buddhist monk, and there's a lot more going on, and some people wish to learn about that. So actually, that's a good segue into the refuge ceremony that we're going to have at the end of this retreat. Is that this ceremony, taking refuge, is to officially become Buddhist. So taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, which we call the triple jewel. So the Buddha is the Buddha who came to this world and founded Buddhism for us here, Shakyamuni Buddha. So this is the statue of the Buddha. So we're taking in refuge in Buddha, meaning we go to him for our support, for our guidance, for our spiritual practice. We're following his footsteps and his teachings. And so Dharma refers to his teachings. The Dharma is what he taught, all these different kinds of methods and the sutras. These are the teachings of the Buddha. So we take refuge in the Buddha himself, and what he stood for, what he attained, and the Dharma, what he taught us. And then finally, the Sangha, the third of the triple jewels, is the community of monks and nuns like us who are full-time practitioners. We follow, this path outlined by the Buddha. So we have a certain function to maintain the teachings. So when you're taking refuge, you're also taking refuge in that aspect of the Sangha as this community that we maintain and help bring the teachings to you. And so those are the three kind of aspects, the triple jewel. And again, so it's taking refuge. That ceremony is officially becoming Buddhist and saying this is the path that you want to take. There's no sense that we trying to convert people. We're not advocating people need to do this. It's just that there's a few people who requested and wanted to do the refuge ceremony. So in response to that, we're offering it for those people at the end of this retreat, but it's sort of like a separate thing. And I know some people maybe have signed up online, and we presented this as an option. And I think there's a lot of people who we don't know that just check the box, they want to take refuge. But it should be more that people know what they're getting into and they're really ready to take refuge. It's not necessarily appropriate for everyone, and there's no pressure whatsoever that we're trying to convert people to do that. So we'll take a little more time. Maybe Master will also talk about it. Master will come for the later afternoon lectures today. We have 2 more sessions. So Master YongHua is my teacher, and he's the one who's the guiding teacher for all of us in our tradition right now. So he is here as well, and will be here for the later lectures. For those of you who are new, you haven't met him yet, but you'll get to see him if you stick around. And so maybe he can talk a little bit about this too, the process of taking refuge. And the other aspect of that, the same ceremony, is a refuge and precepts ceremony. So there are 2 different components. One can only take refuge and not take precepts, or you can take the further step and also take the precepts. Precepts are these basic moral guidelines which we follow as Buddhists. So they're no killing, no stealing, no lying, no sexual misconduct, and no intoxication. And then these are clearly defined how we follow them, and the details of that we don't really share kind of publicly among just anyone. So in this case, we'll try to give you just real general information, and the people who do want to undertake and take those precepts, take refuge, we'll probably create a separate session where we give the details to those people. But for now, we just give you a little bit of an overview, and this is a chance you can also ask questions for those who are interested or considering or want to know more about what this means, feel free to ask. Just raise your hand if there's something you want to know about. Yes.
Yeah, so it will be tomorrow, I guess?
The refuge ceremony is at the end of the day tomorrow. So it's kind of like the closing event.
Okay, could you... Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Could you maybe share a bit about what to expect, just briefly?
The ceremony, it's a 1 hour ceremony that we'll do in here. It will be, I think it's pretty much, it's just for the people who want to participate. So for the general public, we'll just finish the retreat before that, and then those who want to continue with that ceremony can stay on.
Yeah, it's at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah, tomorrow. So it's a 1 hour ceremony. You just go through the liturgy for that.
So some people ask me, but I think it's better for me to put the question to you. So do you have any, if you take refuge, do you have any obligation afterwards? Do you have to do something different from before?
It's fairly informal. There's not really any strict requirements per se. It's so some people people, it's kind of individual how much of a commitment it is for people. But the general idea is it's just you're becoming Buddhist, and that this is you're taking refuge, your source of reliance, your source of support. You officially stating you're going to get invisible kind of protection and support from the invisible world. That you're now in like the family of the Buddha. But how much you plan to make Buddhism a part of your daily life or meditation or other parts of the practice, that is very individual. It's not a requirement that you need to meditate X number of hours, or you need to go to temples certain times per year, or nothing like that. But we just have, there's opportunities you can become involved with. You can follow Master online on YouTube lectures. And the other part of taking refuge is that we're taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, but also you're taking refuge under Master. So taking Master as your teacher is part of that, part of the meaning of taking refuge as well. So it's important to have a sense of connection to Master and to his form of teaching, and to feel like you want to follow his style of practice. Again, there's no requirement how much you need to practice or what you need to do, but there's a lot of opportunities to follow or to join Zoom sessions and just to follow lectures. I mean, every weekend Master lectures, something like 10 hours per weekend. And all of that is live streamed on YouTube, and you can watch it later on YouTube. It's all there. So there's a lot of opportunities to incorporate, just keep studying and learning and applying it. All the way the Master teaches everything, all of this is very practical. So it is about how we can meditate and how we can apply it to our lives. All is intended for us to put into practice. So ideally, the goal of taking refuge, it is for, the sort of ideal path is for people who do want to change and want to apply these teachings more, and it is a step in the direction of becoming more committed and doing more, incorporating the practices into our lives. And ultimately we do this because we want to become better people, we want to improve. So these are the tools that we give to people. We try to help guide you. And taking refuge, like I said, is an individual thing, but it can certainly be like a increased commitment. Often, usually people don't take refuge until they initially they kind of explore a little bit. What is this place about? What do that? They just want to take refuge they want to become Buddhist, or their family is Buddhist, and they know people, and they kind of have some sense, oh yeah, I kind of like what Master's talking about. They don't necessarily practice, and so they can still take refuge and still will get benefits. In fact, its benefits are even kind of multi-lifetime. So this, from the Buddhas teaches that this isn't the only lifetime. We keep lifetime after lifetime we're doing these practices. So taking refuge actually can carry over. What you're doing now will affect you and benefit you in future lifetimes too. It's very broad. And again, it's up to every individual when they feel like moved and that it's the right step for them. The precept is a little bit more more specific. I mean, with the precepts, then now you need to follow them, and you need to know how to follow them. And then that's why we give the training to people who want to take the precepts. We explain those details. But taking refuge is a little less formal and a little more individual. What level of commitment it represents to you to do that. Did you have another question?
I want to share something for me as a beginner in Chan meditation. It really helped me to go and watch the videos from the website Master shared about. It's like an archive of videos from 2012, 13, 15, and he explained like the fundamentals. That was very helpful for me, just as a note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on YouTube you can go back and go to the older lectures, and they're organized by playlists, so you can hear the different Chan lectures, Chan meditation retreats, where Master just talks in this setting during meditation retreats, or he explains sutras. So it's organized. You can hear the sutra lecture on the Medicine Master Buddha Sutra, and just hear Master explain the Medicine Master Buddha. For instance. So some of these things, like the Buddhist sutras, these are more the Buddhist teachings, goes beyond just the Chan meditation basics that we're trying to teach here in the meditation classes. But yeah, if you're taking refuge, all of that is relevant, because now you're more than just wanting to learn Chan. Taking refuge is for people who do want to become Buddhists and do want to learn about the whole range of the Buddha's teachings. Beyond just the meditation techniques that we teach to everyone.
So I have a question, but it's about the full lotus posture.
Sure, yeah.
So the posture is, at least for me, is uncomfortable, and we do get benefits. I guess in part because it's uncomfortable, but can you say that other uncomfortable postures don't have the same benefit? Does that mean that this posture is special?
Yes, yeah. It's not just that any way of being uncomfortable is going to be equal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't just want to start torturing yourself just purely for that discomfort. This particular posture, yes, is designed. It's passed on to us from the Buddha, from the sages, as being very beneficial, and just because of the way the body works, the chi flows, and the way you cross your legs like this, it has the effect of helping us increase the chi flow and unblock the blockages.
So if I find myself in an uncomfortable position, doesn't mean it's a good opportunity to practice Chan. It just means it's uncomfortable.
I mean, from some standpoint, any time that you're dealing with some uncomfort and something, a Chan practice is to endure all kinds of things, like Master is just saying. So it's Chan practice, but it's not like you wouldn't want to pursue like deliberately do some other forms of making yourself physically endure pain that you're making up that aren't the ones we're teaching you through full lotus, just because it's it's not the same thing as enduring full lotus pain. But when situations occur, it's not like you're seeking it out, but there's just some uncomfortable situation, whether it's physically, you have to go through a surgery, or you have whatever, you injure yourself, or mentally, we have situations or with relationship with people, those kind of situations, and we just have to endure them because that's our karma, or that's what we have to go through. So that type of endurance, that's the reason why we're training full lotus. So we become stronger, so we can endure the other things that we need to endure as for our job, or because of our family, or because of our situations. So thanks to the lotus practice, we become stronger and better able to manage those other things. Yes.
I'm sorry, since you were mentioning karma, I would like to ask if we are able to know which karma are we here to fulfill in this lifetime specifically, or there's no right answer for that?
Well, karma, it just means like action. So the way the Buddha taught, like everything that we do, it's an action, and then there will be a reaction. Similar to the law of physics, the way that on a physical plane it's taught about. But this is more in terms of the right and wrong. But like, so we harm people, then later harmful things will happen to us. We do good things for people, later good things will happen to us. That's just the way the universe works. And the Buddha, observed this and taught about it. And the Buddha wasn't the first one to teach about karma. So even prior to the Buddha, in the kind of, I guess, Vedic traditions in India, they understood a lot of these things and could see this and taught about it. So the Buddha didn't create that, he wasn't even the first one to teach about it, but he just also confirmed and saw that, and it is part of his teachings. So there's no particular karma that you need to fulfill per se. Like whatever karmas, whatever you do you're creating new karmas. So ultimately we're trying to, we're encouraging people to do more good and to avoid harming people. And that's the basis of like precepts are the guidelines that they give us a more clear structure how to avoid, what exactly to do so we avoid harming ourselves. But the other aspect of it is that things will happen to us in our lives, bad things happen to all of us, and so some of that is because of bad things we have done in this lifetime or previous lifetimes. Could be countless long, aeons of lifetimes ago. These bad seeds that we planted are things that then now manifest. So we learn to we repay our karmic debts. So that's part of what we're here to do in this life. Right? We have this physical body is basically in order to suffer. That's part of the way the Buddha taught. Like everybody who's born and has a body, we're going to suffer. We're going to experience illness and death eventually. It's just part of having a body. And then all of that, those illnesses and those things are related and caused, grow out of the past karmas that we have done. We've eaten living beings for countless previous lifetimes, and then we weren't happy about being eaten. And that all that comes back at us and can get manifested as illnesses and problems. And so through our Chan, this is all related to Chan and to meditation too, right? So when we meditate, these kind of problems, our negative karma will cause problems in our meditation. And that's also by design. When we meditate more, the more we cultivate, the more problems come up. but that helps us look at them and learn to resolve them. And part of that sometimes is just paying off these karmic debts, meaning that if we're supposed to suffer, sometimes we just have to endure the situation, and by enduring it, we actually are paying off the debt. And then when we do this practice of crossing our legs, enduring the leg pains, it's also helps us to repay some of those karmic debts. It's actually, that's one way of looking at the leg pains. It's sort of like a trade-off. So we have some karma, we've harmed some people, we're going to suffer as a consequence of that. But instead of just waiting until we get sick and we have cancer and it kills us, we do this meditation practice and we kind of more gradually pay off the karmic debts through enduring the discomfort of our leg posture, the lotus. And then if we do that properly, we can hopefully pay off those debts before it manifests as something like cancer, some illness that's just we can't handle anymore. Instead, we kind of preemptively cut it off by paying those debts off first through this type of cultivation. That's another way to look at what we're doing when we sit and endure the discomfort.
So it's a voluntary suffering for not getting involuntary suffering.
Yeah, it's kind of like a trade-off. It's a little more controlled, and you can gradually take on as much as you can, and you train yourself to do more and more. And in that process, I mean, one side of it is because it's training you to become stronger. You're getting a lot of benefits out of it, and on the other hand, you're kind of helping to pay off some of these karmic debts. That's why one of the reasons behind why it can help us become healthier and improve in different ways. Yeah.
In that vein, could you please talk about the Medicine Master plaque? What is it and what does it mean, or why would we request one?
Medicine Master plaque, again, I guess this is really going into the Buddhist side of things.
Yeah.
So it's maybe a little bit out of the scope of just generally teaching Chan, but I can, just very briefly touch on it. I mean, that's part of what, as a Buddhist temple, one of the services that we offer and the Master has continued as part of the Chinese Buddhist tradition that we maintain. Just ways that the people can request help, basically, from Master, from the monks and nuns, the whole community. So people make an offering, and there's a little plaque. So let's say if you have, or you request in somebody's name, it could be yourself or somebody you want to help, you request a plaque that just physically goes on the wall as like a mark that we're helping this person. But generally now we generate blessings to help pay off some debt. So it fits into that conversation. It's a way of debt repayment. So you have some illness, and then if you get this plaque, can help to generate more blessings to try to pay off those creditors or whatever those those beings that were harmed in the past that are behind the illness which is now manifesting. If you can give them something better, and hopefully with enough, depending on the conditions, they can relinquish kind of their claim and back off. Instead of making you sick, they take these other blessings that you give them through this process. So basically, the long and short of it is that the plaques are a way of requesting help, say from the Buddhist temple, from a master, to help you with overcome some of your personal situations, or with the Medicine Master Buddha plaque is especially for healing or dealing with problems. Or even, actually it applies to a lot of different areas, like our lives. For instance, some people, when they want to get a job and they will generate some more blessings, will help them find the right job, or it could be different forms. Yes.
Good karma and bad karma are unleashed by the action itself, or the intention you put on the action?
It's both. So the Buddha teaches that there's really 3 kinds of karmas. The karmas of the mind, then karmas from speech, and karmas from physical actions. So all of those create karma. So as soon as you think something harmful, you're already creating a karma. But it's more heavy if you then go and carry out, right? So you think about, you're really angry at this person. But if you stop yourself there, it's not as bad. But if you go and you beat the person up, now it's worse, right? So you make it worse. You generate a lot more karma. But all of those things, it starts already at the thought level.
And the thought level comes back in the thought level as well, or can it come back in another level?
That's a good question. I'm not totally clear on that. You can try to ask Master if you like about that more detail. But I don't know that it's restricted, or I've never heard it anyways explained that way, that the thought karmas will only come back as thoughts. But I don't really know. It's beyond what I can say. Yeah.
And in that vein, if I have an intention of helping, for instance, which is probably a good thought, and I try to do something, but it makes the situation worse, how is that karma-wise? I mean, the intention might be noble, but the action might be causing more harm than good, because I don't know what to do, or I do mess up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of situations can be pretty complicated, right? So it depends, I suppose, on every situation. But like, do you have anything specific in mind? You're thinking about?
Just offhand, maybe, for instance, I have the intention of helping, say, my mother to learn to meditate, for instance, because I think it's good and might be good for her. But in the end, I might be too pushy, and she rejects it because I'm too pushy with it, for instance. That might be something that maybe she would be inclined, but then she doesn't do it because she thinks, he's trying to convert me or whatever.
Yeah, so, say that from that standpoint, that's one of the reasons why we really don't advocate trying to convert others or even trying to help others. Typically, in a lot of cases, we might want to help others, but it is quite possible that we harm them in the process. And so typically we just don't recommend you try to help others when you don't have the wisdom and know how to help them. And the way we teach Chan, the more important thing is we're teaching you tools to improve yourself, and the more you can improve yourself, naturally that will benefit those around you. And then that's a lot less pushy or tricky than trying to do things to help the others when often you don't know what's right for them anyways, and you could cause more issues. But so from the karma standpoint, it's certainly possible you might have a really good intention, so there's a good karma on the thought level, but there's if you don't really know how to help them and you start trying to help them, obviously there's some stupidity in there, right? Like, because you think you know how to help when you don't really know what you're doing, and then there's the action. If you actually end up harming the person, that's going to be a negative karma. So typically, that's why we encourage people not to meddle in other people's business, and not to try too hard to help others, especially with in areas where it's beyond our ability to know how to really help them.
Just to clarify, because I want to make sure I understood correctly. When you mean help, you're talking about spiritual help, right? Doesn't mean if an old lady wants to cross the street, I'm gonna say no, I don't help you. So it's specifically for like spiritual or wisdom or this kind of help, right?
Yeah, I think that's the core of when we talk about meddling. Is we want to avoid, say, trying to use or use mantras to heal somebody. That's like the classic case. We really don't want to get involved in somebody's karma like that. But it can apply in, I suppose, different situations. But like you said, the everyday things. Of course, we want to help people in natural. You know, if somebody needs help across the street, or our family members, we help them in all kinds of sort of smaller ways that are part of the normal life. But when you let's say you see somebody with depression or some serious problem, you really want to help them, even if they're your family member. But if it's just beyond your ability to really help resolve that problem, so it may be even beyond trying to recite a mantra for them. Even if you try to talk to them and help them come up with some sort of a solution. I mean, I guess it's a gray area. It's hard to say. But especially with our family members, of course, we do what we can to support them. But we kind of have to know our limitations. Yeah.
I have two sisters, and both of them are passing through a difficult situation. One is getting divorced, and the other one, I think, she's not very good on mental health. And sometimes I want to help them, and when I get there and I gave my opinion, it's not so good. Because they don't want to know my opinion. They want to hear what they need in the end. So sometimes I try to help them and I'm not getting good energy. So I step away. But I don't know if I can do it all the time. It's good for me, but it's not good for them. So can I get bad karma for not helping them intentionally because it's not good for me?
Because, can you rephrase that last part?
Yes. Sometimes they are so mad for themselves that cause pain in me. So I push away because I don't want to get there. I don't want to stay there. And I don't know if I have to sacrifice myself for them, for helping them. So if I don't do it intentionally, if I don't help them because it's not good for me, can I get bad things? Maybe I am selfish. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds complicated.
It's
But there's a lot going on there. So on one hand, a general rule of thumb that we recommend is definitely don't try to help people if they don't sincerely ask for your help.
Yes.
That's a good baseline, because if they don't ask for your help, they're probably not going to listen to what you have to say anyways. So it's better just to let them go through whatever they're going through. But when people really ask for your help, that's a different story. You can if you're able, do what you can.
I think that sometimes they ask for my help, but they don't want the help that I can give to them. So that's the difficult part, because I want to help them in the way I could, but they want some other help that I don't have to give to them. So the problem starts there.
Yeah, and so I guess it's also part of how sincerely are they really asking for your help or your advice, or they're just kind of want you to validate something that they already have, some idea they already have.
Sometimes they just want to validate. So why did they ask me? In the end, it's their lives, not mine. So they choose. And if I choose differently, I'm the bad, not the bad, but not the bad sister, but it's very difficult. And sometimes I want to do something and I can't, or I want to do something, but in the I don't want to do it, if you know what I mean. I want to help, but I know if I help them, it will be worse for me. And I don't know how to deal with that. How to deal with.
So yeah, I mean, our general way of teaching is to teach you the Chan skills. So your job is to take care of yourself primarily and first. So become stronger yourself, so that you're not so affected by their problems, and indirectly in the long run, by becoming stronger yourself, they will get benefits from that. They might, if they see you improve, or if they see you meditate and improve, become a different person, a better person, then that might lead them to want to find out about, to apply that to their lives. And again, it just, we don't want to push the practice on other people, but when we apply it to ourselves, it can set up the conditions that they ask, and then they actually do become involved and learn how to apply, how to use Chan to improve their situation. But your job is really just to take care of yourself and improve become stronger, so you're not so affected by whatever they have to go through. So that's what that's we trying to teach you these methods that can give you the ability to recover and to just develop more concentration power that will enable you, so you're not so stressed out, so you can go through difficulty and also, like we said, recovering better. So you might just find being with them, you're going to be drained because of all the stuff they're going through. So then you become stronger. So instead of getting irritated by them and worsening the situation, you can be around them, and you can, like we say in Chan, you can take a beating. Like you can be around them and let them just abuse you or whatever, because the people who are suffering, that's what they tend to do, right? They need to take out their anger on someone. So sometimes, because of the Chan, you have the ability that you can just be a punching bag if that's what they need, and you don't have to then react and fight back against them, but you actually just can be there and take whatever abuse from them. Then later you just go and you meditate and you recover. So in that way, you actually are helping them in a totally different kind of way, and that becomes a part of your own Chan cultivation. That's enduring. Another form of enduring. We're training to endure the leg pains, but then we have to endure these types of situations with our family, with people, so it's all part of Chan, part of what we're doing.
Thank you.
I hope that's helpful.
I just have a question, Master.
Yeah.
So I heard you mention blessings, but I guess it's something that at least over here, it's not. People have this idea of karma. I don't know, because Hollywood or whatever, but blessings are really not that common that Buddhist people explain what they are. Can you comment on what blessings are and how they relate to the Chan practice?
Sure, yeah, the blessings is, yes, yeah, the transference of merit is a very good practice where we share the blessings that we're generating through whatever goodness we do, whether it's our meditation or any other, things. We share those blessings, those good karmas with all other beings. So that is really important practice for us. And actually, we should check with Master. We should do some sort of transference at the end. Typically, at the end of YongHua, we always have a final transference.
Okay.
I don't know if you did that last time.
One time I stayed I think it was just one time that I went and I got the final of the retreat.
I mean, but here, when Master was here last time, did you do anything?
I think we did, yes. We did some mantras and I think we did, it was a small session, like the transference, right?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah, we didn't think about organizing that. I'll ask Master how we should do that, but we should have that at the end.
Yeah, we can reschedule if necessary, no problem.
Yeah.
No, good question.
But generally speaking, that's a good thing to do, every day for part of your personal cultivation. Just at the end of the day, you do the transference of your own blessings you cultivated, sharing it with everyone. Yeah.
Don't you get less blessings if you give them away?
Are you worried about losing your blessings?
Yeah, I might.
But I think no, actually, it doesn't work like that. You get more blessings, right? The more we share it, you get the additional blessings of having shared it, too. But yeah, so just watch out for that mindset.
I was worried too.
Yeah. But no, yeah. The idea is it's the more we share it, ultimately the more it's multiplied for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
When I'm sitting and I'm trying to meditate, it hurts a lot, of course, and I think a lot as well. So what do I need to do? I just need to concentrate on the pain, or
So there's different practices. I may have missed when we talked about, like, say, reciting the Buddha's name is a method you can use where you just try to keep focusing on the Buddha's name, or like when we teach, it doesn't have to be Buddha's name if you don't feel if you have another spiritual or religious tradition, you can recite a name from your own background, something that you feel like will give you a source of strength. You just recite that name and use that to try to replace your thoughts. Instead of thinking about all the stories, just keep reciting that name, and also focus on your navel, that area right here. This is where your center of your chi energy originates. Just keep focusing on your navel and reciting that name, and try to not to follow the thoughts. They come up, as soon as you notice it, you just let go and keep reciting. Like if you want to use the Buddhist method we mentioned before, you can recite Medicine Master Buddha is a name of one Buddha, so you can just keep reciting the name Medicine Master Buddha over and over. Or again, you can recite it in Chinese if you wish. We often use the Chinese characters, so then it's Yao Shi Ru Lai for Medicine Master Buddha. So Yao is like Y-A-O, Yao, Sure, sort of like the English word sure. It sounds like that, S-U-R-E. Yao Shi, Ru is R-U, Ru, and Lai, L-A-I. So you could just keep reciting that as like a way to clear your mind. And then the other part of that is the way we're practicing it's going to be painful, and sometimes the pain is just like too much and you can't even do anything but just think about the pain, which is also okay. It's also part of Chan. And the pain in that case is still helping you actually chase away your other thoughts. because you can't even afford to think about, to worry about whatever else you have to do, or your job or your family, because it's just too painful. And all you can really think about is the fact that you want to uncross your legs, but you're supposed to keep it crossed a little longer than before. So that process is actually helping you reduce your mental processing. So you do your best. If you really focus on the Buddha's name, if you're focused enough, you can actually forget about the pain, and that's great. But then it doesn't always work, and when you keep sitting longer and longer, sometimes it's just the pain is too much, and then you can basically, the way we're teaching you can do anything that works for you to just keep your legs crossed a little bit longer. So then you might try things, whether it's sometimes read a book, or read Master's book, or even watch the Master's lectures, or do something to distract yourself, so that you can survive a little longer and get to your, you have your goal. You could sit for a half hour yesterday, you're trying to go a little bit longer, 31 minutes. So, you set that goal, and then do whatever it takes, especially when you're really struggling, do whatever it takes to survive that extra 30 seconds that you're intending to do the day. So, yeah. Good. Well, it's already 10.
We're a bit over. Yeah. We have this sit was gonna end at 11, and then we have a 45-minute sit from 11:15 to 12.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we can probably just wrap it up right now. Are there any final questions to close off? Otherwise, we can go into do some walking meditation.
We have a newcomer, Venerável?
Yeah.
Okay.
First
Yeah,
time.
you joined us, I think, in the
Thanks,
yeah.
for
welcome.
being here.
We can maybe we can just give you a little bit of an orientation. Just go outside, so we can fill you in on some of the basics that you missed. Yeah. Once we'll start walking in here, and then we can go outside. I'll talk give you a little more overview. But yeah, in here now there's more people, so it's a little more packed. So we have all the new people. Everybody has questions. Just make sure to ask us, so we can address anything that you want to ask about, even if it's very basic about how to sit or your posture.
Everybody sleepy?
I think we had a question about in the morning about the karmas from the mind.
If
Yeah, we
the
could ask
karma of the minds went back to the mind, or it could be to the verbal or the physical as well.
Yeah, so if you create a mind karma, and then the consequence of that would also arise in the mind, or like a mouth karma will always come back to you as another reaction. That will always be a similar type of, like a mouth. Like if you speak something harmful, it always comes back in the form of somebody speaking to you.
Wait a minute, you beginners not supposed to ask a difficult question. Hey, know your place. That's a good one. No one ever asked me the questions I don't know. Is there translation at all? Anyone needs translation? No? She's translating for her? Okay, very good. Okay. It's a real good question. Fundamentally, there are three kinds of karmas, right, Master YongHua? What are the three kinds of karmas?
The mind, mouth, and the body.
What does it mean? Mind karma, mouth karma, or body karmas?
Three different
Examples.
3 different ways we can take actions, because the karma is basically an action, something we do. So we can have a thought, and we think something.
Okay.
Maybe we have an angry thought, we want to kill somebody because they make us so upset.
All right. Mind karma. Clear? The thought that arises in your mind, that's called mind karma. Okay. Anything that arises in your mind is a mind karma. Next. You have to keep it simple. You don't talk like a professor. You know, mind karma is thoughts. Talk like real people. You know, don't talk like him. Okay, so now mouth karma. Yeah.
At lunch, you have talked about the protection. Protection against what? Or against who?
Here, I don't know, but I don't know about Portugal. What kind of protection you need here? Tell me, what kind of protection you need here? No protection, right? I saw women walking at midnight by themselves. You don't need any protection whatsoever. In the US, it's unheard of. Any woman who walks by herself at night, 11 to midnight, is asking for trouble. Okay? So in the US, we need a lot more protection because we are much more, hey, little boy, happy boy, how's that? Okay, so can we address protection a bit later?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, let's finish the karma first before I get distracted.
So the mouth karma is what you say. Anything that you say creates a mouth karma. Second form.
For example,
you
yell at your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mouth karma. You curse at at someone. That's mouth karma, right? So that's what you're creating karmas. What about mind karmas?
The mind karma created.
Oh, sorry, body karmas.
The body karmas is things we do physically with our body. Like we steal something, we actually go and take it.
Okay, so those are the 3 types of karmas, right? So in general, karma means action, something you do, either with your mouth, your body, or your mind. That's all. I mean, that's what we do all day. We create karmas all day, right? We think, that's mind karmas. We talk. For example, we tell jokes. That's the mind karma. Okay? Okay, folks. Anything you say is mouth karma. Body karma, you can steal. You can, I don't know what else you do with the bodies. I don't know. I leave it your imagination. We have a kid here, so we need to keep it, spiritually spiritual. Okay, so 3 karmas we create constantly. So the question is very good. So it says, if you create a mind karma, because you do something, there's some consequences. Like a spring. You push against the spring pushes back. Right? So if you create mouth karmas, does the pushback only comes back as mouth karma?
Not always.
Not always.
If you insult,
For example,
you insult somebody and he shoots at you.
Right. I agree.
the Spaniards are very violent. Okay? He says, if you insult someone, he might shoot at you. It comes right back at you. There's no guarantee. Okay? So, the law of karma says there is a recoil, there is a pushback at you, but it doesn't say in what form. So it depends. It varies. All right? No guarantee that you only get mind karma back or mouth karma back. Could be a combination, could be worse, could be lighter. It varies. Okay? It depends, is the answer. But good question. God made me think. I do not like to think. Okay. Second question here. We have a question. Protection. It's not like a mafia thing, you know. Yakuza. Okay, so what do you need protection against? Protection against things are bad for us. In particular, when you cultivate, I mentioned at lunch, I'm not sure all of you heard it. When you practice, you reach second dhyana. This is a fact. Second dhyana is first level, is first dhyana. Normal people are zero dhyana. First dhyana is the first, which if you practice crossing your legs right there, you get the first dhyana. Okay. And then after that second dhyana, you emit light. When you enter dhyana, you emit light. Naturally. You don't see it, but the heavenly demons up there see it. And they say, wow, the bright light, someone has samadhi. So now they pay attention to you. You get your name. That lady there in yellow, what's her name again? So they put you on the watch list. And they watch you. Why are they watching you? Because they're watching you in order to find ways to stop you from practicing. Okay? They do anything possible to stop you. Okay? And it's not anything that the police can do anything about, anyone can do anything about. And that's why when you practice the spiritual paths, okay, you need some protection in order for you to be able to continue your practice. Because when these heavenly demons or the demons target you, they have very difficult means, very ingenious means to stop you in your spiritual practice. Okay? They can come up with different ways to harm you. Stopping you, it might harm you. Now, in Buddhism, we know of demons. Demons are the spiritual beings, the heavenly beings up there, who lives in the heavens, up in the air there, whose business is to only create mischiefs and create to do harm to all of us, including themselves. They don't realize it. So their objective of heavenly demons is to destroy our world. So that's why eventually we'll succeed and the world will be destroyed. You hear our planets disappear. We heard of the Catholic Genesis or whatever. It's based on the same principle. Our galaxy, the scientists are discovering there were they go to destruction phase and then new galaxies are born. Okay, it's a Buddhist thing. We know it already. Nothing new to us. Okay, so the demons eventually will succeed in destroying our galaxy. Okay, why is that? Because there will come a time when no one in the world, no one meaning you, human beings, no longer practice Buddhism. There's one particular practice in Buddhism that's very, very important. It's called the Shrangama mantra. not the Prasya mantra, but the Shranga mantra. See? You don't have time. We don't have time to practice everything. You can only selectively practice certain mantras because of the importance for our needs. You know? And so, in the right now, or in the future, there will be no one practicing the Shranga mantra anymore. And the Shranga mantra is the only mantra in the world right now, in the universe right now, who can stop demons. Nothing else can stop demons. So we monks, for example, are strongly encouraged. Used to be are required, but now it's no longer required because people can't memorize a mantra anymore. The mantra is in Sanskrit is about 554 lines. Very weird Sanskrit characters, okay? And we memorize it. And so as long as one person who memorizes a mantra, the demons cannot misbehave. So in general, that's the kind of protection you're gonna need. Ultimately, eventually, no one will practice Chan anymore, and that's when the demon will take over and destroy the world. It's not, what's the guy in Terminator, the machine?
Arnold?
Skynet?
Skynet, yeah. AI, yeah.
You let people, I know more about movies than you. Skynet, it's not Skynet, it will destroy us. It's the demons. They destroy everything. And when they destroy this world here, they also will be destroyed. That's how stupid they are. Okay, so that's why that's part of our role is we stick around as long as we can. Okay, spread your knowledge to you so that one day you'll also be able to memorize a mantra. Anyone who memorizes the mantra, demons will be under control. Okay, so that's the most dangerous enemies you have. We all have. What are the proofs there are demons there? The work of the demons right now. Here there are really are slowly destroying our world. What are the works? The demons are behind some very important forces, very dangerous to us. For example, yes sir?
Climate change?
Climate change.
War.
War, very good. What else?
Artificial intelligence.
Skynet, you mean?
So,
okay, why not?
what,
Anyone else?
was COVID a thing by?
COVID, absolutely. COVID is basically a flu, a more severe flu, specialized flu that attacks your lungs primarily. Okay, but it's so confusing, so scary that the scientists overreact. It's basically a flu. Since day one, we never were afraid of this in our temple because when it first started, a person in China called us and said, "My father is 73 years old. He's not well and he's got COVID. He's going to the hospital. Please help." So we helped him, and 2 weeks later he came out. So that's our very first encounter in Wuhan. The guy is in Wuhan, so we knew about COVID immediately. Okay. She never offered to fly me to Wuhan. So, COVID is basically demons. You see how ingenious they are. They are really are not that dangerous, but that they convince the scientists that they're very dangerous. Okay, for us to recite a mantra, and they neutralize. All right. What other demons are there? Demons around you, all everywhere. Fentanyl, drugs, yes? How about cancer? Cancer is a demon behind it. Something a little bit more unnoticeable to you. Computers. Computers. Oh yeah, you better believe it. When you work with computers, guess what happens to you? They suck all your energy.
Yeah.
We're like zombies.
Huh?
We're like zombies.
Yeah. After you work, you do that or you eat. You load yourself up with sugar, with coffee and so forth. You poison yourself. You're killing yourself. So it sucks everything. What's another type of demon you are that Belle is very good friends with? He confessed yesterday. That too. I'm talking about something less obvious.
Coffee?
Netflix on this big screen there. I was practicing once, long time ago. So I came up with this. I encountered this concept of demons. I said demons are everywhere. So look. And then I look at the big TV there, 48-inch TV. Okay, and I said, this is demon because every time we watch, they suck everything out of us. Yes. There's an alpha ray, maybe alpha ray. The scientists says that they emit an alpha ray that numbs you. Okay, actually, it's more than that. They suck everything you have. Okay, as you watch. Okay, you watch. They suck your energy through your seeing, and they keep pulling it in, pulling. It's very much like you look at the computer monitor. Same thing. They suck your energy. All right? So I one day was curious and said, if there's a demon in there, then I want to see them. I couldn't see anything. So what I did is I sucked them out. I said, you want to suck me? I sucked you first. So I sucked them and they came out. And I stopped. We come back like poltergeist. They came out. So cool. The world is fascinating. It's not the way you either, another way I don't see, I don't believe it, like the scholars here. No, the world is fascinating. Lots more going on you think. That's why in general, when you practice spiritually, the demon will come and try to stop you, try to confuse you, and try to discourage you from continuing. Okay? And they will never stop. That's a good thing about it. So we use them to help you improve faster. All right. Oh, we have a lot. You see, my answers are long. If you have a lot of time, you ask one question, I take 2 hours. Yes.
I would like to ask, in the first retreat you mentioned that, for example, doctors who take others' demons, at the end of their life, they get really sick because they are operating and so on, so they are taking others' karmas and therefore demons as well. I would like to ask you, is there a way of taking others' demons without getting harmed by them?
I haven't figured it out yet. It's not possible as far as I know. There is, but I'm not going to teach you. Speaking of, see this? Okay, cover his eyes. See this? Can you see this? Mm-hmm. That's from meddling. This, for your information, is because the liver has issues, so the toxins come out. So in Chinese herbal medicine, they use herbs to deal with fix the liver. But here in China, we don't do that. We don't take medicine. We zap it in the liver, and whatever we cannot zap comes out. to the skin. This is the result. Okay, because I'm meddling with some pretty serious demon. Okay, but this is a good sign because what you don't see is actually killing you. This is they're being killed. That's life. Kill or be killed. Okay? So you have to be careful. That's all. So is there a way that you can avoid it? I don't know any because someone has to be sick and you stop from being sick, then the sickness come over to you. Someone's supposed to suffer, okay? And you're supposed to suffer your leg pains. If I take it from you, it has to come to me. I don't suffer for you. Okay, that's all. Yes?
Yeah, I had a question. So the demons are also under the effect of karma and law of cause and effect?
Yeah, they're just demons are part of the natural cycles of life. We're supposed to die, and so the demons are part of the process that will destroy our world. Our world is born, it will grow, okay, and then will start to decay, and then become zero. It will be destroyed. It will stay destroyed for a while, okay, and then will be born again. So this is a cycle that everyone goes through, not just our world, but you as well. You're born, you grow, you decay. After, I'm told, 13 years old. You know, it's so sad. We all die. And then eventually we die and we bury. So that's just part of life. So they are there for a reason. And so you shouldn't be afraid of them. And so that's part of you, embrace them. They're part of our existence, part of our world. And we tell you about them, not to alarm you, just to make you aware of it, to educate you, inform you, so that you know. You understand more, you understand better how to live your life. That's all. Better. All right. Anything else?
Can you talk a little bit about death?
Death?
Yes. What is your perspective of death?
My perspective of death is something that the human realm is ignorant about, because we don't know enough, and especially the scientists, the scholars don't know enough, so no one really knows. And whatever we tell you is basically interpreted as superstition, as nonsense. Okay? But it's not about what I tell you, it's about what I learned from our Buddhas. The Buddha talked about death as part of life. You know, you go through the cycles, reincarnation. You're born, you grow up, you decay, and you die. And when you die, you're born again. You change bodies. That's all. So death is something, it's a natural part of a life cycle. Okay? No need to be afraid of. Okay? People are afraid because of they don't understand. They're so afraid because they see the decay, the body doesn't answer, doesn't talk to you anymore, doesn't respond to you anymore. But that's a natural part of life. Okay? And death is that moment in the cycle of life where you will have to go through a phase called intermediate skandha body phase, about 49 days after you die, before you take on the next body. then you die, and you have 49 days or so, okay, before you take on the next body. In our human realm, it's 49 days, okay? And so that's all. So not something to be afraid of. However, you should be aware of it so that you can be better prepared for it. Because death is something that will make you extremely vulnerable. Doesn't matter how safe you are right now. You have your limbs, you have your protection, you have your wealth, your possession. But after you die, none of that matters. You're totally helpless for 49 days. So that's what the Buddha said. So I observed it. I saw a lot of our work for the Buddhist monks is that in our tradition, because the Asian tradition, they understand about that culture. The Asian culture is after people die, they come to the temple, request the Buddhist temples, request to do some rituals, some ceremonies for the deceased to benefit the deceased. So that's a tradition that is rooted in Buddhism. It's very good practice. Okay. And even the young Asians don't do that anymore. Okay, so we encourage them to sustain that practice. But after you die, which we all will die, Buddha died, God's son Jesus died, so everyone dies. It's a natural cycle of life. But what's dangerous about it are two phases. Number one, the moment of death is very important. Okay, and the Chinese, when I learned it, the Chinese said, watch out the last thought you have when you die. That's very important, because the last thought dictates where you're going to go next. Okay, what does it mean? If your last thought is a thought of anger, you fall. Here's what happened. So that's what you tell an example. Okay, tell a story. You don't keep on talking. It's nonsense. No one wants to hear your theory except him. So that's when you tell a story. Okay, so story is that when the Buddha was in the world, there's a king, and so they have an attendant to pull a fan. Okay. To cool him down. India is very, very hot, so so the attendant was doing it day in, day out. Okay, and one day he was so tired, like him, and he fell asleep. Okay, so the king, the king was getting hot because he's not getting fan anymore. So his angry thoughts, see, these people, they can't wait for me to go. After all I've done for them, they can't wait for me to go. And everyone's, this is too much. It's taking forever for him to die. Okay, it's too much for us. We're neglecting our sons, our wives, our family, and so forth. And so that final thought here, he says, you have no appreciation of me at all. Well, all the things I did for them. He got so upset, and he passed away. Because of the very thought right there, the Buddha knew. He said, because he's a big Dharma protector of the Buddha. So the Buddha was watching over him, protecting him. So the Buddha knew, so the Buddha sent one of his disciples, Mahamokhyāna, to go over, okay, and recite for the deceased king. Okay, and the king, because his anger, he was born as a snake, poisonous. Thoughts of poisons. I'm gonna harm you. If I wish I could harm you. I will punish you for your insolence, for your lack of respect for me, for your ingratitude. Okay, so he has his angry thought. So he was immediately born into the snake realm. Okay, so Moggallana came over, recited a mantra, and the king was then reborn to the heavens immediately. So that's why in Buddhism, the last thought you have is very important. You don't believe in me, you don't believe anything else, watch out for the last thought. Because if your patient is in pain, like leg pains, so when you practice meditation, you're experiencing leg pains, don't die. Very bad thing happens to you. Okay. If people are in pain when they die, they fall. They fall to 3 realms. That's why we Buddhists know one of the Buddhist wisdom is that avoid falling to that. Become an animal, become the ghost, or to the hells. Okay? Because once you fall in there, it takes forever for you to get out. And there's a lot of suffering. Okay? Except for the rich cat who inherited $20 million from a New York lady. Did you hear that? A lady in New York who was very rich, and she loved her cat. That's the only thing she loved. And so when she died, she left all her fortune to the cat. All the $20 million. So the cat became very fat and died. Yes, sir.
Which samadhi level do we need to have control over the last thought?
With this, what we call samadhi level number 9. Okay. For example, he's number 6. You know, they're number 6, which is a guru level. Okay, 6. 6 to 9 is whatever. Okay. When you get 9 or higher, 9 is a level of 4th stage arhat. And so remember this word, arhat is what the Thai monks reach. 4th stage arhat. They can go wherever they please, virtually. Okay, they will not fall at all. So the first moment is the most important moment is that when you die, the last thought right there is very important. You want to avoid pain. You want to avoid anger. You want to avoid greed. Like, I wish I had some more. For me, Neapolitan pizza. Okay, then I fall to the ghost realm. A thought of greed right there, any form of greed, you fall. Okay? And can you hear me? Are you okay? Shall I be louder? You okay?
Thank you.
Okay. And so the last thought is very important. And then after you die, okay, your last thought tells you where you're going to go next. However, it's not it. After that, there's still 49 days where in the Buddhist tradition, you can have a chance to create merit and virtue, create blessings, to help the deceased. Yes?
Master, when we ascend, I feel there's also a kind of dying, right? And
what?
Like, when we meditate, and at some point there's a kind of letting go of everything, like kind of dying. And when it's clear what I mean.
When was the last time you died?
Like,
when you say the word like dying, I said, like dying? How do you know? Who tells you? Be careful when you say like dying.
I see.
You're still alive. You're not dead yet. How do you know? How can you say it like dying?
Okay, it's the wrong word.
So that's why it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Like letting go of everything.
Letting go of everything. I wouldn't call it dying. Letting go of everything, I call it freedom. Liberation. Freedom at last. Okay, continue.
And I experienced that there is also a moment of, do I let go or do I stick to a thought? So when we are in full lotus, you said it's not good to have pain in that moment, right?
YongHua, helping. What is he asking?
I'm right.
Sorry, not making sense again. It's alright, I have to think about it. I'm clear.
Can I try to interpret and you see if I got it right?
Of course.
So I think that he's saying, so during the meditation there is a time that he lets go, but then the pain comes and he has this thought of pain, right? And he's making the analogy, like the last thought when you die is dangerous. So is this thought of pain also dangerous? Is that it?
No.
No. Okay. Sorry.
No,
I got it wrong.
I interpret it as
Okay, let's help him out. Everyone.
I interpret it as you have some kind of attachment with something, so there's the pain and it's bothering you. But if you give it up, you give up a piece of yourself.
No.
Yes, it wasn't a question, but it's kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't. These guys.
Sorry,
Too
it's
much
okay.
imagination. Okay. Anyone else who'd like to interpret his dream? I mean, his questions. You know what he's talking about? When he meditates, he enters samadhi. That's why he said letting go, meaning he stops thinking. He traces it as I'm letting go. Basically, his mind becomes blank. He interprets it as letting go. See, I speak his language better than he does.
Thank you.
Okay, and then next, what's your question?
I was just a little unsure because you said when we sit in full lotus, it's not good to. I just interpreted the word dying wrong, so my doubt is like resolved.
Okay, next question. Yes.
How do you know which ghosts you should handle and which people you should help as well, which ghosts you should fight?
You don't. They are beyond us. They are, for example, they have the advantage over us. They can see us, but we can't see them. They're more powerful than we are. That's life. Okay? So, but there are also limitations. We have these bodies, you have the right to do certain things that they can't really stop us. So the relationship is not the way you think. I don't want you to be alarmed and say, oh, there's demons, there's ghosts there, and I should be afraid of them. No, I'm just telling you that just like here we can see each other, there's another frequency where invisible to our naked eyes, you cannot see them, and they exist among that frequency maybe, and they can see us, but we cannot see them. That's all there is to it. The fact of life is that we all sharing the same space here. You know, they're here, next to you, next to me. It's just life. So what happened is that we all sharing the same physical space here, and they are also here as well. They have the right to be here as well. Okay, so nothing to be alarmed about. And they do the things, we do our things. Very much like you do your things and he does his things. That's all. Don't be obsessed with it. Just that only when you have problems and that you can't solve, that's when you learn to deal with them. Okay, that's all. It is not meant to scare you into submission and to buying, subscribing to a timeshare property somewhere, or invest in some arms for Ukraine or something. No. It's just information, general information, just for you to know, to expand your horizons a little bit. It's not. You know, the world is not. Is a lot more involved in this. Okay, the visible, invisible. Okay, God, for example, is invisible. We can't see him, and we're visible. So that's life. There's nothing to worry about. Okay, just focus on your leg pains and survive the training and have a happy life. Become a better person. Okay, just be a parting thought. I think this is the end of it, right? And we can continue if you wish. One thought I would like to share with you is, for example, people talk about, especially in the U.S., the pursuit of happiness. We have the right to pursue happiness. Okay, and so everyone thinks you have their own definition of happiness. Happiness is more money. Happiness is more babies. Happiness is clothing. For me, it's a red car. I've been telling you for the last 16 years, no one takes me seriously. Okay, I'm very unhappy about it. Okay, so happiness. People talk about happiness, and so different people have different definition of happiness, I feel that people misunderstand about happiness. There's one thing about happiness is that you can be happier. Happiness is not fixed. Yes? First I want a red car, and then I want 2, and then 3 of different varieties, same price range, you know, that kind of thing. Okay? So happiness evolves, it changes. Yes? So this is where people are confused about. We want 1 baby and then 2 babies and so forth. All right, maybe 3.
No, 2 is enough, Master.
That would be unhappy. Okay. Okay, so happiness evolves, changes. So how are we to stay happy? Stay happy by becoming better and better and better. That's the secret sauce. And no one taught you that. Everyone tells you happy is 1 million euros or 2 million, 3 million, 1 trillion according to Elon and so forth. But it's wrong. Happiness is something that changes with you. It's a moving target. And that's why as you improve, you get better. You get better as a person, you become happier. That's my idea of happiness. Chan is happiness. Chan makes you happier. So the more pain you're experiencing right now, the happier you become. Oh, such a weak person. Okay? people are confused by happiness. I think I feel that after I've been doing this for almost 30 years now. No applause there. Thank you. I feel that I'm happy to share this with you. Yeah, it's a pursuit of happiness, trust me. So I hope you endure, and you get wonderful things will happen to you. Okay, just try your best. Try. Now that's what my master says. When I first joined him, he's dead. He died very quickly, so I remember one of the things that he left behind that I read about only. I didn't have a chance to listen to him like the way I'm talking to you right now and asking questions. One of the few phrases he left behind, he says, "Try your best." That's all. Try your best. Pick something important, something beneficial for you, and keep trying your best. And I try to add more, try your best to improve. Okay? Do a little bit more, a little bit more. Any other questions? Yes?
You talk about the precepts.
What about precepts?
About eating meat, for example.
Eating meat is a good thing. There's no precept against it.
But fish is meat.
There's no precepts against eating fish.
We were, because of no killing, the one who says no killing, we
Okay.
were thinking
Did you
about
kill the fish?
No, but other person will kill for us. Is that possible?
That's the person's fault. We just buy the fish. We didn't kill the fish. Okay, so the five precepts does not prohibit you from eating fish, eating meat. It only prohibits you from killing. So as long as you don't directly kill, you can eat. Hallelujah. Okay. Yes.
But the more we eat fish or meat, the more animals are killed. So we are killing indirectly.
Yes. But it's not breaking precepts. I'm not saying it's right. I'm only saying that for the people at your level who practice, who want to take precepts, and you're afraid of the killing precept, it will prohibit you from eating fish and meat. It's not a problem. It's a matter of personal choice. You say this, I don't want to engage in the killing cycles. That's your choice. Okay, but it's not a violation. That's all. It's not that we're encouraging it, you know. But people eat for different reasons. Some monks, for example, the Hinayana monks and nuns, they eat meat. Part of the practice. 4th-stage arhats eat meat. My friend, he likes meat. So it's possible. You see, even monks eat meat. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it slows him down. If he were a vegetarian, he'd be there a lot quicker. Yes. Anyone else? So as long as it's not a violation, it's not going to stop your spiritual practice. Yes, when you eat meat and fish, there's some toxins in your body you need to undo. All right. Anyone else?
But still about this, the bugs It's not possible. Like cockroach, I want a lot of cockroaches. Oh, I really should stop.
How many cockroaches have you killed?
We have to put that powder around house.
A lot. Yeah? You are an evil person. That's a problem, isn't it? You have cockroaches. What are you gonna do? We have the same problem. Our temple. I used to live in my Vietnamese master's temple in Los Angeles, Koreatown. And he wanted to leave it for me. I said, no, I don't want the temple. Now I realize I did a stupid thing. It's so expensive property in Koreatown. Anyway, it's a stupid thing I did in my life. Now I'm here. I don't know. Anyway, so in that temple there, we have a kitchen on the second floor. And at night, if you go to the kitchen and turn on the lights, the floor moves. All cockroaches. It's amazing. There's so many. So what did we do? Because it's a health hazard. If the health inspector comes, they will shut our temple down. It's really cockroaches carry a lot of diseases. So what are you supposed to do?
Take them out?
What, eat them all?
No, take them out.
Okay, take them out.
Mhm.
How?
By trapping them and just getting.
Okay, let's say you trap a cockroach. You bring it to Gita's house?
You just trap them and then
Put it
let
where?
it go free. Freely.
Free where? Wait. Where? Where you free them? I'd like to know.
In
Bella's
some
house?
field.
Neighbors.
Some field.
Your neighbor's house. Not by your near neighbor, but the other. Right? So what are you going to do? You free them? You're not killing the cockroach, but you're killing that neighbor. So what are you going to do?
It's self-defense, so it's okay.
Give it to Gita. She doesn't kill. She'll take it. She's against killing animals. Yeah, see? Now we all know. You have cockroaches, rats, you know where to go. So what are you going to do? Self-defense. The lady says. Reasonable or not?
Yes.
Yes? He's the disciple of Erdogan. Kill the what's it? The rebels. The Kurds.
Oh no, sorry, I was listening.
Okay, so what do?
You call the Terminator and it's his problem.
His problem?
Yeah, you call it. I have a
So
problem.
what we did is that a lay person lay the powder for us. He says, Master, I do it for you. Because I know you cannot kill. So let me do it for you. I said, you should not have told me. You did it without my knowing, then I'm saved. If you did it and I said, I know you do it for me, it's my karma too. Very much like you're not supposed to kill, but you ask the Gita to kill the cockroaches. Okay? You both are committing the killing karmas. Okay? You cannot ask people. Okay? And and I was stupid. I was so happy. Oh, I don't have to do this. So the problem is self-defense. Is it reasonable? What do? Health reasons, you leave the cockroaches, you shut the temple down. and you are bringing diseases, spreading diseases through cockroaches. What are we going to do? I have a similar problem. In California, we have termite. I mean, not here. California very warm, so we have a lot of termite. We have a lot of wood, and they eat up our buildings. What are we going to do? Yeah.
Can't you ask someone to kill and recite some some mantra so they get good rebirth?
Too Buddhist. So sometimes you have no choice. It's us or them. Okay? And we have to commit the killing karmas because you have to choose the lesser evil of the two. Either you kill cockroaches or spread disease. Either you get rid of the rats or you have cholera. What are you going to do? So sometimes you have to choose the lesser of the two evils. In this case here, you have no choice to kill cockroaches. Okay? And of course, you realize it's killing karma, so you try to do something to provide relief. Okay? But it's not, you don't have any choices. It's called common karmas, common retribution, meaning that the cockroach is not necessarily you, but it comes from your neighbors, the other neighbors, and yours will affect the neighbors back and forth, back and forth. So it's a common retribution. Not a whole lot we can do. Okay? War is a common retribution. Yeah. So, no choice. Okay? Not that I'm urging you to kill. If you cannot give it to Gita. Okay? Anyone else? Okay, okay. Then let's get back to meditation, we have one more talk tonight. Okay. Good luck to all of you. Don't quit. It helps. Okay. It helps to tap your legs when they are a little bit numb. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
See you later.
Chegar aos 30, tens que reiniciar. Só voltar a gravar.
Well, hello everyone. You are almost making it to another day. Yeah, very good. How's it going? Yeah? How are you doing? Okay. We suggesting if possible you stay overnight here. Miguel, was it overnight practice? Okay. Yes, if you can, you have nothing else to do, stay over here and we help you. and the environment will help calm your mind down. Very much like this lady here who decided to go on a fast, they're still on the fast. See, how do you feel right now?
I think I have more energy than I used to do at home. So definitely something is happening.
But you feel more peaceful, aren't you?
Yes.
The energy increase and it feels more peaceful.
And when I'm doing fasting at home, I don't feel so much energy.
Right, of course.
You are helping me.
Your sugar, your blood sugar level is low. That's why you have no energy. But then you're discovering that energy is not necessarily sugar. Okay. With this Chan skill here, in general, you have limitless energy. You may be tired, and if you choose to Netflix, that works. But if you choose to meditate, cross your legs, and endure the tiredness and fight the tiredness and concentrate on your meditation, then eventually you develop the skills to be able to draw energy from yourself. Okay? And you're finding out that your energy, the energy you can draw from yourself, the Qigong people, they learn that you taught that you took it from the universe, yes? It's nonsense. Okay, for us it's not universe, it's from you. You draw from your own reserved energy that's limitless. So it's something you discover eventually. So we may be very tired, but you enter samadhi and you have limitless energy. It's so cool. So something that very useful to have. And that's what she's experiencing, that if you calm your mind down, and if there's a need, you can draw energy and she's energized. You see, it's not about food. Well, I prefer food. That's my advice, food. Okay, so you're discovering these cool skills you're able to draw upon yourself. Okay, and the non-Buddhists, they don't quite understand. That's why they have these theories as unproven, and from us it's unfounded. But it's okay. It's okay. It's a half truth, if you will. Okay, it's okay. Yeah. All right, but I want you to know that I really appreciate coming here, and you're coming here. I think it's important to say that before we forget tomorrow, because for us, for me, it's vacation. The last time I was here, I had to work hard, right? I had to sit here with you and I work hard. But now with Master YongHua, because he can handle it, and you are doing so well that I can do my work and take it easy. So I want to thank you for that. It's vacation for me. To be here is rather pleasant and very nice to see all of you again and the new of you. And also, I'm also grateful for the chance to be here with Master YongHua. We don't spend a lot of time together. The only time we spend together is when I yell at him. Okay, or ask him to do things. So now we have a chance. We went to we hang out together Thursday, right? Yeah. It almost killed me. Too much walking. And so it's the first time we really hang out together, wasn't it? Yeah, we gotta do it again soon. Like over 10 years. That's when we first hang out. Okay, so I mean, it's a meal walking, if you would. So it's kind of fun, but also the chance to let him, learn to teach and train him a little bit. So I'm grateful for that. And so, what else did I want to say? I forgot already. Anyone has any questions or any comments? And so the last time I was here, I had, they have the other room and so forth. And so it's a lot of work. And we brought a lot more people. But I feel now, if tomorrow, the next day, tomorrow, if newcomers come, okay, can I propose this? You have some of you instructors, take them aside and show them instruction, how to sit, posture, and so forth, and bring them back here. It's simple as that, okay? And that way, they come in, and if they have no questions for you, bring them back here, okay? And then meditate. And then you repeaters, you can practice kindness and be nice to them and encourage them and to learn meditation and share your experiences. That's part of Chan too, by the way. Our Chan is not simply sitting and you notice. It's fasting. It's eating. Eating, for example. Tomorrow, if we have lunch again, we should eat around the table. They eat around the desk and eat. People sit on stairs so that it seems like people want to gossip. That's what we do at lunch. So is that okay? So just find as many chairs as you can. You sit on chairs and you sit on the floor or on the stairs, whatever. Okay. Relax, it's okay. This process here is for you to endure the hardship. When you fast, you run low energy. So at first it's not comfortable. You're hungry and so forth. But you endure it. This is when your inner strength kicks in. So you have to give it a chance to do it. And that's why the training is really a secret from Chinese that we picked up and the master brought from China to the U.S. So that's why all these things that you're doing, you should take advantage of it and take advantage of this kind of event here, where we come here to help support repeaters and Bruno and Miguel and Ida and so forth and Sylvia and so forth, because they wanted to share this wonderful process that with as many people as possible. Okay, that's what we are about. We are whenever we can, we like to share it, and that's it. It's no numerics where how many people need to train, to teach, whatever. It doesn't matter to us. Okay, it's a chance to share something, and that's our Chan practice, the practice of kindness. Okay, you'll find out that Chan is not simply to sit and breathe in, breathe out, or whatever people teach you. Chan is actually life. Learn to live better by becoming a better person. A better father, better brother, better worker, all of those. Okay? That's Chan. Our Chan is that. All right, now they warmed up. Master YongHua is all yours.
Anybody have any questions? Anything they'd like to ask about? Is it painful? How's it going with leg crossing?
They're already painful before I crossed them.
Endure. Endure more and more and more while you still can. Okay. It's only one more day tomorrow, and that's it. You go back to your regular life. And these intensive training are designed to help you unlock the things that your potential is buried inside of you. It's kind of cool. You just have to do it, and you see.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what else we could bring up for them.
What they will bring up? You can bring up for people. You can talk about, for example, the realms, form realm, desire realm, formless realm, and so forth. Okay, that's where they are right now. We want to talk about this, to understand more about where they are a little bit, and they will understand. Okay.
Yeah, this is some of the background information that's available in Master's Chan Handbook. We also have a couple copies if people want to take a look at those. But the different realms, this whole universe is actually called the triple realm in Buddhism, the technical term. That refers to the desire realm, the form
It's
realm.
not the universe.
Not
Let me correct you. The universe consists of infinite number of galaxies, and our realm, our world is called world, where we are. The Milky Way galaxy is just one world amongst infinite number of worlds, infinite number of galaxies. Okay, and that is the universe.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah, that's just this one galaxy. So the universe would refer to the Dharma realms, the whole thing with all kinds of infinite different galaxies throughout the universe. So the triple realm is just like one galaxy, correct? Like this Milky Way galaxy, or the triple realm is referred to one galaxy. So every galaxy is it's called a world system in Buddhism. And it has these three realms in each one of them.
It's not a world system, it's just a world within a world system.
So even the world system is actually has different sets of worlds.
Yes.
It's all like rather more complex than anything I can fathom. But the Buddhist teachings actually map out all this in detail. But the three aspects of this, the triple realm, that is kind of we have access to, especially through our meditation. But the desire realm is the realm that we usually live in, where most the humans live in physically, is called the desire realm, because we're dominated by all these desires. We constantly have a lot of thoughts and desires, and so that's typically the one realm. So these realms, they actually correspond to sort of regions, but they also correspond to states of mind. So even though we live physically in the desire realm, these form realm and the formless realms, we can access the states of mind, which are basically for us the states of samadhi or concentration, which sort of parallel the states of the beings who live in the form realm. There's many heavens that we can't see. They're actually in the form realm, and then there's further heavens that are in the formless realm. So the beings that live in these heavens have access to, they live in a certain state of mind, and we can access those similar states of minds ourselves through our meditation practice. So we talk about 8 basic levels of samadhi, which we are taught about. So the first 4 are called the dhyanas, or or we also call it just samadhis, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are in the form realm.
When you explain things, when you introduce a new concept, it's better to use example that they can identify with. You don't just go from one concept to the next like people like this. Okay, that's a classroom kind of teaching. What we do here is help people connect with the concept themselves. So for example, when you talk about the desire realm where we are, you need to connect with them, help them connect with it. What does it mean to them? Okay? So desire realm means that you have desires. That's why it's called desire realm. What kind of desires? Okay? What kind of desires do you have? You see? That's how you help to connect with it. Don't just go, form realm, desire realm, and so forth, and you run out of things to talk about very soon, very quickly. Okay, so that's why teaching in our style is to help people connect with it, not just knowledgeable. Help them identify themselves with it. Okay. So what are the desires you have? All sorts of desires. Yes? Yes. The heart is full of desires. That's why it's called desire realm. This is how we live. And the nature of desires is that it harasses you, it makes you afflicted. If your desire unmet, you're afflicted. Okay, so we're constantly afflicted where we live. This is the nature of our environment. You can complain, you can whine, all you want is that's where we are. Okay? This is the nature of our existence. We have desires. Okay? And we have more and more desires every day. And you would tell them about the 5 desires. So you take your time and talk about it. Yes, you understand the concepts, but you guys fail to help people connect with the concepts themselves.
Yeah, thank you for the instruction. I'm really not used to teaching about a lot more. Most of my experience is just teaching, people how to sit, how to cross your legs. So I don't have much experience trying to present or make the concepts of Buddhism, accessible, and so that's a new experience for me.
It's not necessarily Buddhism. You put in Buddhism that some of them are more Catholic or anti-Buddhist or atheism. No one knows about Buddhism. Present is like some sort of knowledge you have. If they want to know, that's from our teachers. Because listen, they go to you take a meditation class. Your teacher gives you a bunch of nonsense. Yes? They say, you get the chi from the universe. And it worked. They get see, I have more chi. It probably comes to the universe. That's the first thing they hear. That's the first thing they believe. Okay? So that's why we don't necessarily, we are not here to try to turn you into Buddhist or convert you into Buddhism or trying to spread Buddhism, whatever it is. Never my interest, personal interest at all. Okay, you're happy to be Jewish. I stay Jewish. It's perfectly okay with me. Okay, embrace it.
So there are five basic desires that we talk about in Buddhism, but they're not just Buddhism. Yeah. Sorry.
Even if you don't mention Buddhism, you said you mentioned the 5 desires. They are desires for what? Desire for food. Anyone? Does it have to be a Buddhist thing? All of us have desires for food, right? No? Okay. Until when I came here, before I came here, that Lisbon food is excellent. He said, yeah, it's for the seafood, yeah, but I'm vegetarian. That's how exciting my life is. Okay, so relax, talk, let the people see what these people think of Portuguese food. You see? Relax. Teaching is about connecting with people. We really have nothing to teach, you understand? There's nothing to teach at all. Until they have a problem, then we can teach. When we have no problems, nothing to teach. That's where we come from, we came from, okay? We really have nothing to teach you. You want to know, we share with you. But you ask us, what is it you're trying to do? I said, nothing. I'm just trying to have a good time. Like all of you.
And so for these 5 desires, any other ideas what other kind of desires we have?
Love. We have desire for love.
Love?
I guess.
Yes.
Love? Seriously?
I want to be loved, and I want to love everybody. Well, not everybody.
That is not universal. The one thing about love that you're confused about is sex.
No, love.
Sex! You can learn about love and sex. I don't where we come from is rather crude. We don't call it love. We call it sex. Okay? And from sex, maybe it becomes a love. I don't know. Come to think of this lady's insistence. Is it love or is it sex that we desire? Why do we learn it as sex and for her it's love? Why is that? Kind of interesting to me. Never encountered this problem before. Usually I talk about sex and what? But this lady said, no, I can learn about sex with me. Live and learn. Huh? Professor.
I think what people normally call love in Buddhism is a mixture of 2 desires, fame and sex. Fame in the sense of being recognized for what we are. It's a kind of, I interpret it this way. And on the other side is sex.
See, now we're talking. See, that's about sharing with everyone. Yeah, who cares about sex, love? It's about, I want to know what they think. Jeez, weird people think. Yeah, that interests me. Who cares about the truth about you being right or wrong? It doesn't matter. Whether you, at the end of the day, are you happy? Are you peaceful? You feel peaceful. You feel happier. You feel healthier. You feel, that's all that matters. Whatever you call it, love, sex, whatever. Okay, so this gentleman says, for him, love is about sex and fame. What do you think? You agree?
I would say connection.
Connection. This is what men don't have. Huh? We don't have a sense of connection. We only think of sex. I mean, true or not? For them, okay, it's about time we learn. It's about time we learn. Yes? For them, it's connection. They call it connection. Actually, to me, it's feelings. Agree or disagree?
Yes. Yeah.
Connection has no, connection is like the tool that transmits what? Feelings.
Well, or energy.
Energy, here we go again, the universe. Okay? Okay, connection. All right. This is time. It's never too late to learn. Okay, so what she's saying is, you agree, seems to agree with it, is more than just fame.
Fame in the broader sense, not only being famous, so that being seen as a worthy person in this sense.
Yeah, what about emotions? It's not about being recognized, it's about emotion. Yes? See, one man agrees. Yeah. And he's, let me think. Emotions, it's connections from two people. That's love. Okay. Then why do you think we talk about sex and not love?
Because it's our primary instinct.
Yeah, it's the lowest level. Okay, whatever you call love, whatever you call, whatever, it ends up, it's built upon that thing called sex. Okay? So that's why that is actually, that sexual desire is actually the primal force for us. The desire for sex is actually more powerful than love, if you will. More powerful than desire for food, even. Okay? That's what I'm told. All right. We just talk. You continue.
Three of them are kind of on the table now. Right? We have food, sex, and fame. So there's
Fame?
recognition.
Fame. Is it recognition? It's interesting. For him, it's recognition. Fame is a recognition.
Yes, kind of.
Maybe
in
a
a certain way. It can be good or bad, but it's a recognition.
Recognition.
Maybe attention.
Attention. Okay.
Ego validation.
Ego validation. Okay, what else? What is fame?
Admiration as well.
Admiration, okay.
A chance to remember.
A chance to remember, okay. Okay, what else? What is fame? Numbers, quantity. One is not enough. That's what fame is about. You famous to one person is not called fame. Yeah? So the more famous you are, the more people know about you. So not simply just recognition. It's about the weight. It's about quantities. It's about numbers. We want more and more and more. That's what the nature of fame is. One person is never enough. It's got to be another one, and another one, and another one. So this fame here is about head counts of people. Does it make sense? It's never been explained like that before in where we came from. But everyone talk about fame, but actually deep down is about more people, not just one. Okay? All right. Next.
Wealth.
Wealth. Well, I don't know anything about wealth. You tell me about wealth.
Red cars.
What?
Red cars.
Red cars? Yeah, that's wealth. Okay, you got it. And what else? And finally?
Well, more things. In comparison to more people with fame, maybe more things.
Not just things. Close, but it's not just things. What is wealth?
Abundance.
Abundance. Okay, close. Abundance. Not just things. That we have a lot. So we are not satiated until we have a lot. Okay? And that's the nature of desire for wealth. We want more. We have a lot already, and we want a lot more, and a lot more, and a lot more. We want to own more. We want to possess more. We want more possessions. So, fame, for example, is about others, right? Head counts. Outside of us. Wealth is what we can control, what we have, what we own. Okay? And that's very, very deep kind of desire in us. Okay? For example, let's talk about love and sex, because there's some interest there. What it means is that you can get by with having no love, but you cannot get by without having sex. She disagrees. Yes. We talk about anything, okay? You too. What does he know? I don't know much about it. And you can disagree. So, what do you know? Okay, so that's why it's at the lowest level. You can do without a lot of things, but sex is what drives us. Okay, it's the strongest driving force for us is actually sex. It's actually all the 5 desires. What's the 5th desire? Sleep. Yeah. Sleep. Are you having enough sleep? If you sleep here, you're not going to have to sleep a lot. Okay. Because at 4 o'clock, we hit the board, whatever go around, tap on the hey, get up. Okay. And so that's part of it. Part of it is that we torment you day and night. Okay. So that you can connect with the universe better. Okay. So all the 5 desires, actually, sex is the weakest. Sex is under all the other 4 desires. The drive, if you think about it, the desire for food, the drive for sleep is actually underneath it. Sex. I haven't talked about sex this much in the 10 minutes.
It's the same thing, the same in the heavens.
I'm sorry?
It's the same in the heavens.
Same in heaven?
Sex is
Which heavens are we talking about?
in the desire realm.
Yes, desire realm the nature in the desire realm where we live is that sex is a driving force behind basically everything we do. It's sad, but it's the truth. We say, I do it for love. No, you do it for sex. Never mind, okay? Let's not argue with this, shall we? Because you're gonna win. Yes, it's true. In the desire realm, there is this, if you're here, ultimately, there's one desire you cannot do without is desire for sex. Okay, you may suspend it, you say, I will stop, whatever, and then eventually you have to go back to it as long as you're here. It's the nature out of this. Okay.
So I'm not quite sure where to take it from there, but
Just don't talk about sex, that's all.
So we have to deal with living in this world with all these desires, and like Master mentioned, we struggle a lot with just too many desires that are unmet that leads to a lot of afflictions, a lot of suffering, and so I guess I could try to turn it back and hear from everyone what where are the areas where it causes trouble for all of you. Like, do we have any questions about how we deal with these desires? How meditation can help? Yes.
I would like to ask, as far as the wealth desire is concerned, how can we deal with that? Because the majority of human beings is less spiritual and more materialistic, because we also live in the material world, and it's kind of hard not to think about wealth when you live in such a material world. With all materialistic people around you. Even me, I consider myself materialistic, of course. So I would like to ask you, what is your advice to deal with this ambition and wealth chase that we have nowadays? Even myself, I have that.
Yeah, so you're saying, of course, most people are not like us left home people, where we kind of give up some of these aspects of life. So we just live, we're kind of like beggars, we're poor people. But I understand, for the rest of you, you have to deal with house and family and make payments and all of that. So you're asking, are we just recommending you, how do you deal with all that? I guess. But I understand. That's good question. And, I'm not sure how to best speak to it.
Well, for you, are you married?
If I'm married?
Are you married?
No.
Would you consider marrying someone who has money?
Well, I would consider me myself having money, not to depend on anyone who has money.
That's one way to make money.
No, sure.
Portugal? Seriously? I remember someone I met this gorgeous lady married to this young Asian lady, very gorgeous, and married to a Jewish gentleman, much older than she was, and he owns a Mercedes dealership. And she's not wealthy, of course, and so he proposed to her and said, marry me. He said, okay. And he says, if you marry me, I will give you a few $100,000. Okay, and then every month you get $25,000. This is a long time ago. $25,000 to spend, no questions asked. I said, was this dealer seriously? You're a drug dealer. I don't know. No questions asked, whatever. You're young, so you can go and dance and play, but you cannot go all the way. Okay. And then he says, furthermore, he says, if you give me a child, I pay you $1 million. So now it's about $2 million.
A good price.
You see, I would not dismiss getting married as a way to. Just kidding. So it's important. I think what you want to do is reasonable, because young people nowadays, the younger generation, they don't understand the importance of that anymore. They don't understand that they need to learn to take care of themselves instead of depending on someone else. Okay, that's so important. And especially young girls, they need to understand that they need to acquire skills to take care of themselves and be self-sufficient. It's very, very important, because with that comes self-respect, and with that comes dignity, and that's fundamental to our lives, I feel. Okay, and so yeah, of course, it's important to desire for wealth, desire for money. That's natural. Okay, and so how do you deal with that? Well, you deal with that first of all by accepting that's part of life. We need money to support our family, to support ourselves, to go on vacation, to donate to charity and so forth. Okay? So it's normal to desire for money. That is part of our existence. However, to have desire is normal, but to have excessive desires is not. So you need to distinguish in your lifestyle what is normal, what is not. So it varies between all of you. Okay? For some of you, it's a different number than others. But for you, you need to determine what is reasonable for you, what is normal for you. Okay? And whatever beyond that is unhealthy, abnormal. So, and that target right there will change. Okay? In your lifetime, it will change, it will increase and decrease, up and down, and so forth. That's natural. So it's natural to have desires, because that's how we're wired. Okay, you can deny all you want. You can say it's love, but actually it's sex. Good. Okay. But what we're learning about it, these are the facts of our existence from our perspective. Okay. Now you know about it. The question is, what do I do? You know that's what those are the driving forces for us. Okay, and you learn about the concept that is normal and it's part of who we are, how we wire. So be careful to set a threshold where it's reasonable versus unreasonable. Okay, and that's the first thing you need to learn to do. And so as you practice meditation, it will help you reduce that number, the threshold right there. Okay, I used to want a lot more money, and now I just want one red car. To start. Okay, so in order to make it manageable, make it reasonable, okay, that you should develop the skills to stop and moderate your desires. Okay, just because we have desires and it's normal for us doesn't mean we should indulge and become a slave to our desires. This is what how normal people live. You chase after your desires. Feeling is normal. And we're telling you that no, it's not normal. It's normal to have desire, but it's not normal to have excessive desire. Okay? You don't have to live like a slave to your desires. That's all. And you practice Chan meditation. They help you recognize your desires and decide quicker, is it reasonable for me or not? Okay. And what happened in Chan meditation is that you enter samadhi. The purpose of telling you about these desire areas is because the desire realm is the nature of desires. Okay, we live here, we're gonna have desires. Okay? Desire keep on popping up in our mind. That's how it is. That's who we are. That's how we live. Okay? Like it or not. You can talk all you want. You can deny all you want. Okay? You can suppress your desire for food for a while. But she may look peaceful, but actually in her mind say, I can't wait to have what you're craving for. Fruits! So give me some fruits tomorrow. Right? So she's controlling it. See, she's learning to control it, but it's only suppression right now. Okay? What happens is that when you practice Chan and you want to really rise above your desires, you need to enter samadhi. When you enter samadhi, all your desires are suppressed temporarily. That's your advantage over ordinary people. Ordinary people says, I want SEX. Let's forget about SEX. Why am I so obsessed with it? Excuse me. Let's not talk. I want food. A hamburger. Okay, a pizza. Okay? And you keep on thinking about it. Fruits. And what about fruit? Bananas? Yeah.
I still remember when you said about the nun, she was stayed she was doing fast and she asked for banana.
Yeah, Shana.
Shana,
Yeah.
So I still remember
And then she said, I give you $150 for a banana. I said, only? Okay, so you are aware of your desires. They're pulling you, they're oppressing you, they're tormenting you. Okay, normal people say, I don't know what to do. Normal people need to indulge, you need to do something about it. You need to get a banana and eat it. Okay, but we have a choice. We can meditate when we have such desires, and we can enter samadhi, and the desire, poof, gone temporarily while we are in samadhi. And that's what we call emptiness. We empty our desires. It's a cool thing. It's your choice. You could say, I want to have some bananas, or I said, no, I'm gonna be my own mistress. I will enter samadhi, meditate, enter samadhi, no more desire for bananas. It's up to you. You can indulge like normal people, which we encourage you to do. When you're with your family, your loved one, your friends, you want to connect, you want to bond. Okay? Then have some bananas. No. That doesn't sound right. Sorry. Have some fruit. Okay? You can choose to indulge. Like, for example, when you with someone, okay? It's very important for you to choose to indulge. That's how we connect. That's how we bond. Okay? That's part of life. That's who we are. Don't deny it. Okay? But then there are times when you say, I want to be free from this desire. That's when you meditate and you enter samadhi, you develop the skill to enter samadhi, then you free from the desire. And there's no longer in torment you, okay, while you're in samadhi. And when you exit samadhi, this desire for food will be a lot less. Desire for fruits will be a lot less, a lot more manageable. So that's how we retain control of our lives instead of just being a victim of our lives, of life. This is what ordinary people, that's what separates us from ordinary people. Ordinary people say, I want money, I want fruits, and they say, and they torment themselves. They allow that to torment them. For us, you are developing the skills to be able to enter samadhi and say, no, should I indulge or should I not? So you are the mistresses of your universe. No, it doesn't sound right either. It's too fast. Anyway, yeah, serious business. No mistress. All right. Did they answer your question?
Yes, it's about us having the control over the desires instead of the desires controlling us.
Yes, that's why I call take charge and stop being a victim. Okay, make the right choice. That's called wisdom. Wisdom is to be able to see, okay, and choose properly. Wisdom is not like the way he puts it, running away from life and deny ourselves things. We became monk, we do these things because it's a process, a training methodology that helps us develop that samadhi a lot quicker than you. Okay. Anything else?
Well, maybe I can add, it's also what I struggle with, all the desires, and maybe sometimes when you are about to make a decision, or maybe my mind is so clouded that you cannot oversee well all the consequences, and at that time it seems the perfect decision to make. For example, work more, to earn more, have a savings in your bank account. I'm self-employed, so I don't work with contracts. So maybe in a few months I don't have work anymore. So it's for me it's a fine line, if to have time for myself, time for the family, and time for the work.
Right, and that's where your it's a delicate balance. You need to adapt.
Yeah.
Okay. But at least in here you are a lot more attuned to the quality of life. In the U.S., we only have one thing: make more money. Where I came from, we make more money, and then we use our money to fix our body is broken because we make too much money and work too hard to make money, and so forth. It's a lot of confusion. And they call or we work harder to become more famous and then fix our body later. Okay, to get inspiration and all those things, all the silly things. Okay. And that's part of the balance that you need to strike for yourself personally. And as long as you're there, as long as you're there, you need. I would recommend this. If you need to make an important decision, okay, about your life, very important decision about your career, your life, your love, whatever, family, children, so forth. Okay. You should study and do the research, okay? Look for information the best you can, and then all the information you can put your hands on, and then stop and meditate or sleep on it. Okay? Don't jump to any conclusions. Okay? You meditate, and with meditation, your wisdom takes over and will melt all the information you accrue. It's a fantastic process. And I'm telling you, this is what we do. When I need to make an important decision, I meditate. I do my research, I get as much information as I can, and then I say, okay, that's it. I'm not going to make a decision until I meditate. Okay, that's very important for you, skill for you to acquire, to develop. Okay. You use wisdom. You draw upon your wisdom, your innate wisdom, to make the right decision. Now, wisdom is not thinking. It's not about smart. Wisdom is all the smart combined with insights, instincts, and all the things that the mind cannot justify. And you all have it. We all have it. You just don't know how to use it. That's why the meditation you do right now, every day, is helping you develop that ability to draw upon it when you need it. This is what's amazing about you. You need to be drilled, to be trained, to develop this wisdom, okay, so that you can draw upon it when you need it. This is what Chan is about. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? Yes.
Sorry to get back to the sex and love thing, but
No, it's okay. I like to learn about love
thinking
too.
that
Never too late to learn.
if we common people see what we call love, it's the desire for sex, and if we could achieve a point where we could feel the love, as Master was saying about the emotions, didn't understand if the connection was a good point or not.
Yes, yes.
Would that
To me, it's emotion.
Okay.
Yeah.
But those emotions would be like the same level for everyone, no? Or would it be to specific people? What I would like to ask is that that concept of love would be more as we can see it in a relationship with one specific person as having a wife or a husband, so that we would have a specific kind of love towards that person, or that love would be a thing that we would feel the same for everyone. That's the question.
I don't know about you. What do you think? She's talking about the love. Is that the love for one person, or is it love for the same kind of love for everyone? Right?
Yeah, exactly. But if we could perceive what love is and not the desire for sex, so I'm asking Master.
Yeah. We can at the normal level for you. It's love. That's okay. But deep down is you dig deeper. That's actually sex. Okay. But it's okay. Call it love. It doesn't matter. Okay. It's perfectly okay. But so the question you're asking is that this love here, I'm still not clear about your question. Is the love for one person the same as love for the others? I don't understand.
No, so if we really understand what love is and we are really capable of loving,
Yes.
if that love would be what we actually think that love is, so that it is to love a husband or to love a wife as
Loving children.
so a different level of love, or if that love really would be a thing or a feeling that we would be able to feel towards everyone instead of just
For everyone?
Yes, to be able to have those connections more easily with everyone around us.
What do you think? It sounds very tiring to me. I love everyone.
I would insist on Retiro theory. But I have the love for our children has to do with karma, or is sex too in that involved? I don't think so.
I think so. Do we have time to go into this? Yeah?
I would say I was reading a book by a German scientist, I think it's Franz de Waal, which is called Chimpanzee Politics, and he talks about I think from his perspective and from what I also agree, I think sex would be more related to our desire of power and for our desire to eternalize ourselves, because when sex happens, most probably it will get you to having children, which is your own eternalization of your own DNA. And love would be a different thing, I would say, because you can love in many ways and it doesn't need to be related to sex. Actually, I don't think it's related at all. It can be, but
I'm no expert, okay?
But
in whatever topic you want to go into this area, this arena, I'm no expert. So I submit to you. Okay. Actually, it's very, it's not the way you think. That sexual desire is ultimately the driving force to manifest itself eventually as through love for your children, love for someone, or love for a cat. Okay. Below that, that's really the lowest level of desire is actually sex. And the more you meditate, the more wisdom you have, the clearer you see that. So it's kind of difficult to explain to you. Sex is not love, and so forth. So I can't explain it to you. It's something you have to experience yourself. Okay, you see it for yourself. Right now, you want to call it love, fine, call it love. But eventually, don't stop there. That's all we're suggesting. Don't say that, oh, just love. Actually, it's a little bit deeper than love. Okay. And so let's talk about this love thing here. Between is this one person or the other person? Is it the same thing or not the same thing? I'm no expert again. Help. You people who have experienced love. What is it?
I don't love my husband the same way I love my kids. I love my kids so much more.
That's not what I hear very often. Someone who says, someone recently I just traveled to Korea, and this young lady says, I'm going to get married. I say, why? She said, because I want to make babies. I said, why? She said, I just want to make babies. I said, so I asked her, what about loving your husband? She said, I don't need to love my husband. I only need to love my babies. Sound familiar?
But I love my husband. But I love my kids
more.
So much more.
Yeah.
It's a part of me.
The same with her as well. But the way she put it to me is kind of brutal. She said, I don't need to love my husband. I need to love my her baby. So, means it. So, of course, it's different. Very good example. Thank you. It's the love actually is, as she said, it's connection. The bond you have between two beings. Whether you with your dog, you with your cat, it's a special connection. You with your child, you with someone else's child, is a special connection. Okay? For that being only. It's not the same. So that's why you have all sorts of love. Love for our husband, love for our children, love for our cats, and all different kinds of intensity. And it will change as well. Okay? When the kids get older and they misbehave, that's when you love your husband more. He will stick around with you. The kids won't. Okay? So the bond there is a natural, what we call a natural settlement of the karmic debts. You love someone because there's some prior connections. Once you have this love feeling towards someone, okay, in the future lifetimes, that feeling, that connection is easily rekindled, become alive very easily. That's why. This is why you have strong feelings towards someone else. It's a natural thing. Okay, because of prior affinities, prior conditions. It's not a secret in our world where actually people keep on revolving around each other. So for example, in our Buddhist world, the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha is this world here. He came here to practice for a long, long time, for many, many lifetimes, countless lifetimes. And as he came here, for example, at one time, he was a deer, a king deer, a deer king. What is it, deer king or king deer? Huh? Deer king. King deer. Okay? He's a deer, he's a king of a bunch of deers, of 500 deers. Okay? And he was, the whole pack was very, very happy, very thriving. So of course the hunters came. They found out there's a lot of deer, a lot of meat they can hunt and make money off. So they surrounded the deer group and to kill them all. So the deer king, the king deer, not the deer king. See, that's why we call it king deer, not deer king. So the king deer saw that, and he says, so he told his deers to run away, and he would stand so that they would draw all the attention. Okay, so the hunters came, and all the deers ran away, except for his wife, the queen deer. This tiny thing there. Okay, you know the king deer is a huge thing here with antlers and everything, and the queen deer is a small thing here. And she stood in front of him as the hunters came with the bow and arrows. Okay, and the king deer says, "Run away, honey, go away, live. Take care of our children." He said, "No, I'm not leaving you." So they shot her, killed her, and then shot him and killed him. Okay. So later, when the Buddha came here as a Buddha, he married someone. Guess who it is? The Queen Deer. So that's why we keep on revolving. So he all the girls that he was presented to make a choice to choose from, he chose her, his own cousin. Okay, and same thing happened. He deserted her. He said, "I want to want to go and become an ascetic, a shramana, and practice and find liberation." Okay, and she never abandoned him. She stayed faithful to him her entire life. Okay. So that's the nature of their relationships, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Okay, it's in our scriptures, the stories of their stories and how they cultivated through many lifetimes. So one time they're queen and king deers, one time they're queen and king crows. Okay, the other time they're elephants and so forth, and then they become humans and so forth. Quite often they gravitate towards each other and love each other. Similarly, the same thing happens to our enemies. They gravitate towards us and find us and try to get even with us. So that's why, in short, the attraction is actually very individual. You're drawn to this one person. And if conditions arise so that you build the bond, it will become strong and establish affinity with you for future lifetimes. All right. So it's not like it's not the way you think. It's that there's some karmic forces that create the attraction from us. Anything else? Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, if you have no questions, we can take a break and then you continue the program. One more sit. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.